The world of business has changed forever. Part 1. 2 waves and 5 excesses. We're living in a new industrial revolution. In my previous YouTube talk, The World of Work Has Changed Forever, I examined this from a bottom-up perspective, from what it is like as an individual. In this talk, I focused on how the new industrial revolution has changed the world of business. The conclusion from the bottom-up perspective was that we are living in a time characterised by a polarisation between free-range chickens and battery hens, between being a freelance/entrepreneur and being a machine component in ever larger, ever greedier, ever more inhuman corporates. The 21st century represents a stress test of your entire business. Most businesses will fail the test. If you win, the rewards, both monetary and personal, are greater than ever. If you lose, failure comes faster than ever. The new industrial revolution has been driven by the confluence of computing and communications technologies. Data from computers and connection from comms devices have come together. Traditional business development methods were developed long before this shift and used on their own fail in the new industrial revolution world. There are 2 ways to fail: too little and too much. Desert and tsunami. The Financial Times Business Development Guide, worthy, textbooky, published just 2 years ago, devotes a mere 14 pages out of 176 to, and I quote, in inverted commas, the internet. At the opposite extreme, let's just take one simple example. A search on Amazon for books on social media alone gives you 500,000 books. In a world where Facebook has 1.3 billion users, half of whom log on every day, do you think these 500,000 books really have something original to say? Or are the vast majority of social media experts driving, as internet guru Seth Godin says, mostly using their rear-view mirror? The majority of the land grab in this new world has already happened. Furthermore, the big 5, Apple, Amazon, Google, Yahoo, Facebook, have vast war chests to hold off invaders, spending around $100 billion on acquisitions in the last 15 years. We all know it's a digital age, but few businesses have really embraced it. Most existing businesses have just created a few extra departments. Most realise that the future is perilous, but it's often left to startups to really disrupt the status quo. In a world centred on money, on tech, on individuals rather than society, it's inevitable that we will think digital. However, we need to go beyond just thinking digital. The problem with thinking digital is that we are confining ourselves to thinking in terms of the technologies. This is good, this is useful. But if we confine ourselves to a technology-driven perspective, we live inside a very small box. We will never get to the real roots of 21st century business development challenges. Let's look at the first industrial revolution to understand how it's the broader context, the bigger picture that ultimately makes the biggest difference. In this case, the technology was steam rather than data come communications. One can learn to build a steam train, but the bigger picture is the impact of railways on society. So right now we need to get out of our tech box, out from technological introspection to addressing the fundamental issue that an industrial revolution fundamentally changes society. It is this societal change that presents us with the real roots of 21st century business and business development challenges. Without explicitly addressing both the technology and societal angles, the 2 waves, we will not succeed. What do I mean by societal change in the context of the new industrial revolution? The game has changed for all of us, we know that. However, what is less recognised in business is that we have already been changed ourselves by these new technologies. Technologies now shape our lives in profound ways. I have changed, you've changed, your clients have changed. Unless you accommodate these facts, your old-style business development will fail. This confluence of astronomically increased amounts of data and comms in our society is utterly unprecedented. The profound impact that it is having on our lives, and has already had on our lives, can be summarised in terms of 5 excesses. Excess information, excess competition, excess choices, excess insecurity, and excess stress. In the next part of this talk, I will address the practical implications of these 5 excesses and how, as a consequence, we need a radical change in business development to survive, let alone thrive, in the 21st century.